Welcome to Reread, where I'm rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order. Today I want to talk about the 4-issue series, Jango Fett Open Seasons. It basically talks about Jango Fett as, well, Count Dooku's given his account of this, the template they're going to use for the clones and what type of life Jango has lived. And it starts when he was a child, his dad Jaster Muriel leading the Mandalorians, basically how Jango came to lead the Mandalorians, how his life became, and it talks about Concord Dawn. It's basically one big retcon. And I remember reading this going, aha, they finally did it. Because when episode 2 came out, obviously the Tales from the Bounty Hunters, Boba Fett's origin was compromised, right? Because he's some kid named Jaster Muriel on Concord Dawn. What's going on? And everyone was like, oh, that's a big, I told you, books never canon. And people still talk about that. It's like, well, that was a big contradiction, wasn't it? I was like, you didn't read Jango Fett Open Seasons. Because Jango Fett Open Seasons explains all of it. Boba Fett went under the pseudonym of his grandfather back to Concord Dawn as a protector or proctor or whatever it was. Because they go through all this in his origin. And I was reading this and I knew exactly what they were doing. And rereading it again, it is pretty good. Like I said, good for a retcon, but it didn't feel like a retcon story. You got to hear about how Jango grew up. And at the very end, he makes a deal with Darth Sidious. He thinks he has Darth Tyrannus, on the moons of Bogdan. He meets with Darth Tyrannus and thinks he's poisoned him. So he thinks he has the upper hand. He says, I'll give you the cure, but you got to give me a few things. And so as Dooku is asking him questions, Dooku fights through the poison on his own, and Jango goes, well, it's my turn to be impressed. Oh, there's another one that Jango does in front of Count Dooku. He opens up his hand, and the blaster comes to his palm of his hand. He went, you have, Dooku's surprised, went, you have the Force? He goes, no, magnets. Which I thought was really smart. Why wouldn't you want to do that? That'd be cool. So they have a discussion, and on top of his pay, he wants a child, a clone, unaltered clone that's going to be raised normally. And then Dooku goes, I never figured you for a sentimental man. He was like, no, it's just to continue my legacy. And that's the only reason he wants Boba in the family, which is kind of neat. And then, of course, they have the perfect clone. He's going to go to Camino and, get all, I don't know, suited up. I don't know what you have to do to get cloned. But it starts the beginning of the clones. Of course, this happens 10 years to episode 2, so pretty early after episode 1. And even though the story, I don't think has ever been told about how Count Dooku fell to the dark side, except, of course, Darth Plagueis, the novel, kind of hints that Count Dooku knows there's another Sith out there and would like to work with him, would like to learn the dark side, wants to break the Republic because they're all corrupt and kind of wants to turn the world upside down. If the Sith wants to do that, he's for it. Because right now he's for anything to, get even with the Republic. He's just disgusted with the Republic. And, Darth Sidious says, well, maybe you'll meet this Sith soon, or not Darth Sidious, but, Palpatine. Don't know why it took me so long to think about that. Anyway, so obviously, very shortly after, he revealed himself to Count Dooku, and this must have happened right after that. Because they had to, I think in previous books, if I haven't mentioned this before, Sifo-Dyas was introduced in Darth Plagueis 2. And it's actually Darth Plagueis who kind of hints on, maybe him putting in an order for clones. And even though we're never told that Sifo-Dyas does that, it is hinted strongly that he's going to take that suggestion to heart and probably order them. Now, it would have been nice for them to show that, and it would have been nice to seen Count Dooku turn to the dark side too. Either in a comic book or a novel, but for some reason they never showed those quintessential moments, kind of skipped over them. So Sifo-Dyas ordered them real quick, and they said, okay, now we need a template. So then they had to find, Count Dooku had to scour the galaxy, and he felt that Jango Fett was it. Also, Count Dooku knew Jango from a previous engagement. So that's kind of how he knew about the target, because years ago, the Jedi faced off against Jango and some of the Mandalorians. So it's a pretty good story. And like I said, it works as a retcon for the Tales of the Bounty Hunters, but it doesn't feel like one. that tells you, what a good writer we had, or what good writers we had in the expanded universe. So yeah, still an awesome comic book. All right, folks, that's it for now. See you next time.